Hello and welcome to this News 9 special, and the big news that is coming in from Sharjah is that England have won their 4th match in a row at the T20 World Cup 2021, and with that they have practically sealed their semi-final spot in the marquee tournament. Atishay, with 4 wins, they have practically sealed the spot, although the official confirmation is still waited because, there are other games, but practically England are the first team to qualify for the semi-finals.
Well, definitely, Abhishek, England has almost but sealed their place to the last 4 spots because they have not only won the 4 games, but they have won the games with a heavy margin. Just like not today they won by 26 runs, but the previous 3 games which they have won have been of considerable margins. So now talking about this game, it has been just a clinical performance by the 3 Lions. They were tottering at 47 for 3 at one stage, but that innings, that scintillating 100 by Jos Buttler completely changed the parameters of this game and shifted the tide to England's favours. Sri Lankan batsmen, again, they struggled in the initial first 6 overs, and then they were also struggling at the 10 over mark. But a handy partnership between Hasaranga and their skipper Dashun Shanaka kept them in the game. But once again, the experience and the cool and calm, composed captaincy of Eoin Morgan just proved too much for the Lankan Lions.
Just to give our viewers a little bit idea of what the points table say now, England in 4 matches, they have 8 points. They have a run rate of 3.183. South Africa, they have 3 matches, 4 points, 0.210 run rate. Australia, again, they have also 4 points. They are in a negative run rate. Sri Lanka, with this loss, they are out of the tournament. They have 2 points. West Indies in 3 matches, they have 2 points, but practically it has been England all the way. As Atishay mentioned, it was a brilliant half century by Jos Buttler. In fact, the first century of this World Cup. But it was not really a slam bag version, right? I mean, England were in a tricky spot. They were 35 for 3 in 5.2 overs, and from there, Buttler and Eoin Morgan, they struck a more than 100 run stand,
117 run partnership to be precise. Just a phenomenal partnership between the 2 seasoned campaigners. And also talking about, it was not a free-flowing innings by Buttler by any stretch of imagination. He struggled initially. It was his slowest half century in T20 international, can you believe it? But as soon as he turned that into a century, that turned the tables into England's favour, and that innings just shifted the momentum, just shifted the dynamics of the games in the 3 Lions corner, and he is the main reason why England are now standing on the brink of the last 4 spot.
Now, first there was Jason Roy, and now there's Jos Buttler. I mean, this England top order, I think, there's the most fearsome top order in this World Cup and across, the T20 teams. I mean, there's no weakness that this team has showed. I mean, again, today also, while Sri Lanka was batting, you mentioned between the partnership between Shanaka and Hasaranga, it took the match to a tricky spot. But then again, the experience of Eoin Morgan showed. Just to remind the viewers, Tymal Mills, he was injured and he was out of the attack. But then Eoin Morgan, he used his bowlers well and ensured that the England would not lose this match. So again, a great performance by Eoin Morgan. So we have been saying how his form has not been up to the mark, but today he scored 40 of 36 balls and then gave a brilliant example of his captaincy, right, Atishay?
Well, definitely it is very crucial for England to have their skipper in the right frame of mind and also firing with the bat. But what was the most impressive thing about Eoin Morgan today was his captaincy. When Adil Rashid came into bowl during the power plays, he kept the mid-on and mid-off up inside the 30-yard circle, and enticed the Lankan batsmen to go over the field. And in the process of doing so, they just gave their wickets away. So that goes to show that even though Morgan is struggling with the bat, how important he is for this current English side, because his calmness and his composure in the field just changes the whole dynamics of the game and shifts it to England's favour. Abhishek.
For the England bowlers, Moeen Ali, he was again phenomenal. In 3 overs, he gave just 15 runs and took 2 wickets. Adil Rashid, of course, 4 overs, 19 runs, 2 wickets. Chris Jordan, 24 runs, 4 overs, 2 wickets. England bowling also, right? The spinners, they are choking the batters. The pacers also, even Chris Wokes, he was a bit expensive, but still, we can say it was a pretty all-round decent performance, considering like the 2 of the latter overs, the Hasaranga and Shanaka, they were going for the big shots, they were getting those boundaries, but England kept their composure and took the last 4 wickets, I think, in a space of like 18 to 20 deliveries.
Well, this is what makes this English side an explosive unit, because they don't just have explosive batsmen who can just torment any bowling lineup, but they also have quality bowlers to back up their batsmen. They have Adil Rashid and Moeen Ali, who are phenomenal spinners in these conditions, given that that the pitches offer so much turn and the conditions are so conducive to spin bowling. And they also have pace bowlers who can vary their lengths, vary their pace, which makes batting extremely difficult in such challenging conditions. So that goes to show. And also the key component, I think, which brings the entire England team together is the captaincy of Eoin Morgan, who, by the way, becomes the most successful T20I captain. He now has 43 wins in T20 internationals, and MS Dhoni, who is one of the greats the game has ever seen, had 42 for India.
I mean, that is a big name to surpass, right? I mean, Eoin Morgan, as we all know, he led England to the 2019 World Cup win, and now with the form that his team is in, I mean, Atisha, I mean, do you think, like, apart from Pakistan, any team has reached that same level as England in this World Cup so far?
Well, absolutely not. Pakistan and England are by far the two most impressive sides, have been the two most dominant and impressive sides in this tournament so far. Pakistan has won all their 3 matches, while England has done one better by winning all the 4 games. But, well, Pakistan will have a chance to thrash Namibia and make it 4-4.
True.
But as you rightly said, Pakistan and England have been the 2 best teams going so far in the tournament, and none of the teams even come closer when it's come to even competing with those 2 sides.
Right, and before we wrap up, in a quick word on Sri Lanka as well, because Sri Lanka, none gave them any chance coming into the World Cup. We always talked about England, Pakistan, India, Australia, even West Indies, but Sri Lanka, you know, though they have lost this match and the earlier match too, but they took it close. They fought tooth and nails, but they lost. I think this young group, I think if they can hold together, if they can perform, I think the glory days of Sri Lanka might just be back, right?
Well, definitely, Abhishek, it's not all lost for the Sri Lankan national side, because even coming into this tournament, no one expected a whole lot from the Sri Lankan side.
Right.
Especially when their experienced players were not part of the squad, and they came in with a young but fearless side. But also the way they have played cricket in this tournament has surpassed expectations, because they defeated Bangladesh in their opening game, and they lost a close contest against South Africa last time around.
Right.
And today also they tried their best, but they were just not good enough. The squad,
I mean, England was just too strong
good
enough, right?
And they also have found so many young talents like Asalanka, Nisanka, Hasaranga, and even that Bhanu Paksha. All these 4 or 5 players are young and have a bright future ahead of them. And just one more stat: now Hasaranga has taken the most number of wickets in 2021 in T20Is. Now
he surpasses Tabraiz Shamsi, right?
He surpassed Tabraiz Shamsi, who had 32 wickets. Now Hasaranga has 34 wickets.
Brilliant. I mean, that's
so again, brilliant altogether.
There is a lot to look forward to, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
leg spinners have been the flavor of this World Cup, and Hasaranga, well, tomorrow we have 2 important matches coming up. South Africa faces Bangladesh and Pakistan face Namibia. Of course, I mean, if Pakistan are likely to defeat, in all probability, Namibia, they are almost, they would have almost sealed the semi-final spot. We will be covering those matches live. Do join us tomorrow on News 9 Live. Thank you and good night.